Well, good Thursday evening, Midlands. I'm Chief Meteorologist Efren Afante with our 8 o'clock update on what we're expecting as far as our weather from tonight all the way through until this winter mess is gone. If you can believe it, this is our second time in a row in less than a week. Now, right at this time, see on max storm Doppler radar and satellite, over the last 6 hours and pretty much all throughout the day, this has been the theme. We've had on and off showers. They have been anywhere from drizzle to light rainfall. It hasn't been heavy at all. And that's scattered all throughout South Carolina. Here in the Midlands, we've got a little bit of light rainfall that is now starting to taper off, especially in areas of Saluda, Newberry, Fairfield County, and portions of southern Calhoun and Orangeburg County. We do expect that this rain is going to be persistent as we go throughout the evening. Look at the current temperatures right now. This is a noticeable difference than what we had earlier today. Temperatures are in the low 40s in the northern Midlands. In the central Midlands, we're in the mid 40s, and then upper 40s to low 50s when you get into the southern Midlands. The noticeable thing about this is that the winds are now starting to come out of the northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So we have a wind chill already. It feels quite cold out there, but the air temperature is warm enough that all of the precipitation is still coming down only in rain. Now we continue the winter weather advisory. This covers all of our Midland communities, including Aiken County. So 12 Midland counties are now under this winter weather advisory. If you recall, earlier this morning, the National Weather Service upgraded it from winter storm watch because conditions are favorable that at the very least we could see a little bit of accumulating ice. Let's show exactly what we're looking at this point. What we know though so far is that the amount of rainfall, the amount of overall precipitation that we got Sunday is not going to be the magnitude that we're getting tonight, rather today, and all through early Saturday morning. It'll be about half or a little bit less than that, but nevertheless, we're expecting that the rainfall that we have now will continue tonight and overnight. As we get into tomorrow morning, the rain will start temporarily, or very short term, start changing over from rain to freezing rain. By midday, but particularly into the afternoon, all of this is going to turn into sleet, which is basically ice pellets. So it's in between a raindrop and a snowflake. But by late Friday night into early Saturday morning when it tapers off, not only could we see sleet, but some of our communities, and I know a lot of people are going to get their ears perked up like our viewer, Kathy Tabor. I'm going to say the word snow. We'll talk about that in just a moment. The impacts we're looking at from right now all the way through tomorrow morning, the rain is going to continue, but because the temperatures are going to be cold enough in the morning, we could be looking at freezing of the roadways. So the roadways are going to be slick and a little bit slippery pretty much all throughout our Midland roads as we start off tomorrow morning, and it will continue all throughout the day as the precipitation changes over to whatever it may be, whether it's sleet, snow, or freezing rain. There is isolated chances for power outages, and specifically any areas that may get accumulating rainfall that freezes on trees or on power lines. Again, we're not looking at the magnitude we had Sunday, but there's still that isolated chance. The big thing that we're looking at is that we're going to be looking at dangerous wind chills on Friday during the day in the 20s and on Saturday morning in the teens. This is what we're experiencing right now. Here's all the rain. This is associated with a weather complex in a front that's moving through. Notice all the cold air that's well behind it. Well, to the south of us, well to the south, in the central Gulf South, right around the Mississippi Delta, another area of low pressure is building up. And if you see, there's a lot of precipitation in the western Gulf. That second wave will be heading towards us. The great question is if that runs right along the same path that we have the rain now, or moves further out to shore. If it moves further out to shore, the amount of precipitation, whatever it is, will be less. If it's a little bit closer to the South Carolina coastline, the amount of precipitation is going to be more. Here's what we're looking at. The rain is going to continue tonight through the overnight hours. This model is indicating that it may start tapering off in the morning, but we still could have some scattered rain or freezing rain to start off the morning. As we go throughout the morning and midday, we'll have isolated chance for rain, freezing rain, and then start to switch over to sleet. By sunset tomorrow night, so roughly give or take an hour around 6 o'clock, all of our Midland communities are going to be dealing with mostly sleet, a little bit of freezing rain, and that's going to be persistent at least from Friday night after sunset all the way into late Friday night. Now here's the catch. This model is depicting that as we get into sometime around dinner time or after dinner time, we could see some snow start developing in the northern portions of the Midlands, and as we get closer to midnight, maybe a little bit more snow in the northern half of the Midlands. Now, the southern half of the Midlands may see a snowflake or two, but for the extreme southern Midlands, I don't expect us to see any snow. As this starts to taper off early Saturday morning, I think the most it will see in our southern communities from Clarendon, Calhoun, Aiken, and Orangeburg County will probably be the sleet. But then by the time we wake up Saturday morning, that's it. The rain is done, the winter weather is done, and then the skies will slowly start to clear up. How much rain are we expecting? Well, overall, we've only received anywhere from maybe a tenth to a little bit over a quarter inch of rainfall all throughout the Midlands. So add on top of that, we could see isolated areas that can get up to maybe half an inch. Okay, not a lot of rainfall. If you remember, on Sunday, the rainfall we got was nearly 1.5 inches on average everywhere. How about the ice? Well, the ice we're expecting in many areas will very likely be under 1/10 of an inch. Some areas may get a little bit over, maybe up to 1/15 of an inch of rain of ice. Here's the importance of it. If you get almost 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulating on power lines and on trees, well, there's a possibility that we could have some power outages. When we get closer to about 1/4 inch of accumulated freezing rain and ice, that's where it starts weighing down the trees. Trees come down, the power lines get weighed down, and that's where we get the power outages. So the amount of ice, at least from this depiction, is not going to be as severe as we dealt with on Sunday. Snow. Okay, here's what I'm going to say about the snow. This is showing that, by and large, the Midlands may see a flake or two. If there's going to be any accumulation, it may very likely be, even though it shows a little bit darker blue in upper Richland, the likelihood of any accumulation of snow will be in portions of upper Richland, but more so of Kershaw County, portions of, or a good chunk of Lee County, and maybe northern Sumter County. If accumulations occur, my best educated guess right now is we may see 1 inch, almost 2 inches of snow, but that'll be it. We're not looking at an incredible amount of accumulating snow. So add on top of that the sleet. At most, we're looking at maybe 2 inches of the sleet and snow combined in areas of eastern Fairfield, upper Richland, Kershaw, Lee, and Sumter counties by the time it's all done. Could we see snowflakes in the northwestern Midlands? Maybe, but we're not talking about accumulation, if at all, maybe even a trace. Here's how confident we are about the precipitation being different than Sunday. Instead of it being rain and then freezing rain, and remember, all the freezing rain we had, there were puddles all over the roads, but if you looked up at the trees, with the wind chill as the way it was, and the wind chill being in the low 20s, all that precipitation froze on the trees. Well, this is different now. We are confident that as we go through tonight and into tomorrow, the temperatures will be above freezing. So all the way into tomorrow morning, we do expect anything that's coming down will still be rain. And then as we get into tomorrow after sunrise, that's when the temperatures start dropping. And as they do, this is where we're going to start seeing from midday into the afternoon, where any freezing rain will start changing over to sleet. And it's indicating that temperatures not only will stay below freezing through Friday night, but into early Saturday morning. We're not expecting the temperatures above freezing until we get to Saturday afternoon. The important thing to understand about all this is that the wind chills, as we get into tomorrow afternoon, with the winds coming out of the north, the wind chills are going to feel in the afternoon in the low to mid 20s. But even with all the precipitation done as we get into Saturday morning, it is still going to be very cold. We're looking at wind chills very likely in the low to mid teens. So keep that in mind. After everything is done Saturday morning, it's still going to be cold enough that whatever's on the ground, at least for several hours in the morning Saturday, is still be on the ground. Now let's take a look at overall picture and just recap of what we got. A winter weather advisory is in effect, again, for all of our Midland communities. This goes until Saturday morning at 7 a.m. What we're expecting, Again, the rain that we have now will continue tonight and overnight, may start tapering off in the morning. Tomorrow during the day, any rain will start changing over to freezing rain and then eventually all sleet all throughout the Midlands. And then as we get into the evening and overnight hours, we'll still be dealing with the sleet, but some areas of the northern half of the Midlands, so pretty much anyone from Columbia Highway to Sunset Boulevard, Divine Street, Sumter Highway, and 378-76, everyone north of that may see a little bit of snow, at least snowflakes, but the best area that we'll see, if any accumulations, will be the Northeast Midlands. Impacts, we're looking at, again, slippery road conditions from early Friday morning through Saturday morning. Isolated power outages. So even though I'm saying isolated, make sure that you charge any device that is portable just in case the power goes out. Because at least if you want to get updates, you can watch us on your phone or through our app on WLTX 19, as well as on Facebook and YouTube. And then the biggest one of all, the wind chills. Again, we're expecting wind chills Friday afternoon to feel like the low to mid 20s. And by early Saturday morning, all of us are going to feel wind chills, very likely in the low to mid teens. Now we'll have an update on this as we get on News 1911 on News 19, as well as information that'll be online. We'll have this saved, so make sure you save it and share it with your friends and family to know what's going on. And we'll update you with the latest information as well as the impact on this second winter weather round here in the Midlands. We'll see you all tonight at 11.